Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive today. We're diving into a really interesting exercise plan for folks with Parkinson's disease. It uses this device called the IsoTone. But first things first, we got to give the usual reminder that this deep dive is just for informational purposes. Definitely not a substitute for advice from a medical prof.
Right.
Always chat with your doctor or physical therapist before you jump into any new workout routine.
Couldn't agree more, especially when you're dealing with something like Parkinson's.
So for anyone listening who's maybe not super familiar with there's Parkinson's, could you give us a quick overview of what the condition is like?
Sure. So Parkinson's is a neurological condition and it affects movement. You know, things like tremors, you get that shakiness, rigidity, where your muscles feel stiff movements slow down. And it can make balance a real challenge.
I see. So how does this isotone device actually help with these challenges?
So the IsoTone, especially the IsoTone-Lite model, is this kind of small handheld device. And it gives you this adjustable resistance, almost like a portable gym you can take anywhere.
That's cool. So it's not just for Parkinson's then?
Not at all. You can use it for all sorts of exercises. But it's especially great for Parkinson's because it tackles those specific movement problems head on.
That makes sense. So it's like it's tailored to their needs?
Exactly. It's not just a general exercise tool. It's really designed with Parkinson's in mind.
So where do we even begin with this exercise plan? What's the starting point?
Well, this plan is really smart. It focuses on several key areas. And one of the most important ones, especially for anyone with Parkinson's, is balance and stability training.
Makes sense. Balance issues can really impact daily life and increase the risk of falls, right?
Exactly. And that's where exercises like standing weight shifts and single leg stance come in.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How do those work?
So with standing weight shifts, you'd hold the isotone like this horizontally in front of you at chest level. You apply gentle pressure and then you shift your weight slowly from one foot to the other. And the key here is to gradually increase the squeeze on the isotone as you get better at balancing. So it's always challenging you.
So it's like adding another layer of difficulty to a simple movement.
Right. And you know what's interesting? It's not just about the physical challenge. It's also about engaging the brain.
Oh, how so?
Well, Parkinson's affects the production of dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that plays a big role in movement.
Okay.
And research has shown that exercise can stimulate dopamine production.
So you're actually working on your brain chemistry while you exercise.
Precisely. You're promoting something called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. Now, that's a word I haven't heard in a while. What does that mean again?
It's basically the brain's ability to rewire itself, form new connections, adapt and find new pathways to make up for any damage or problems.
Fascinating. So it's like the brain is learning new tricks.
Exactly. And these exercises, by targeting the specific challenges of Parkinson's, they're like training the brain to compensate for that dopamine deficiency.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So you're not just working on the physical symptoms, you're actually helping the brain adapt.
Exactly. And that's a really crucial point here. Exercise, especially when it's tailored for Parkinson's, can have a major impact on both physical and cognitive function.
Wow, that's encouraging to hear. So what other balance and stability exercises are included in this plan?
Another great one is the single leg stance, with the isotone, of course. Pretty self-explanatory. You stand on one leg and lightly squeeze the isotone. The challenge is to hold your balance as you slowly expand the isotone.
Sounds like a great way to build strength in those stabilizing muscles, the ones we don't always think about.
Absolutely. Those muscles are crucial for preventing falls.
So we've talked about balance and stability. What comes next in this plan?
Next up is strength and coordination training. Now, these exercises might seem simple, but they're incredibly effective at boosting muscle strength, improving coordination, and even fine motor skills.
Okay, give me an example. I'm curious.
All right, let's start with the seated squeeze and lift. You sit comfortably, feet flat on the floor, holding the isotone horizontally in front of you. Now, as you squeeze it nice and firm, you lift it overhead. Then lower it back down to chest height. And the key here is to keep those movements smooth and controlled.
So it's not about speed, it's about control and precision.
Exactly. Quality over quantity every time. Another exercise in this category is the diagonal squeeze and twist.
Okay, what's that one like?
You hold the isotone at hip level, and as you squeeze it, you rotate your torso diagonally upwards, extending your arms. Then you come back to the starting position and repeat on the other side.
It's like a good core workout.
You got it.
Yeah.
A strong core is essential for stability, and these exercises with the isotone really challenge those core muscles.
It's amazing how something as simple as squeezing and twisting can make such a difference.
It really is. And that's the beauty of this plan. taking everyday movements and turning them into powerful exercises by adding that resistance.
All right, so what's the next category of exercises?
So next we're going to focus on gait and movement control. And this is especially important for people with Parkinson's because walking can become a real challenge.
Right, I can see why that would be a primary focus.
Yeah.
So what kind of exercises are we talking about here?
Well, one of the key ones is called step and squeeze.
Okay.
You hold the isotone at chest height, and you take a step forward with one leg while you squeeze the device. Then you step back and do the same with the other leg. It's all about coordinating those steps with controlled squeezes.
So it's like you're adding strength training to each step.
Precisely. And then there's the march with isotone exercise. Holding the isotone again horizontally at chest level, and this time you're lifting one knee to waist level while you squeeze. Then you lower it and repeat with the other knee. Really focus on staying upright and keeping those movements controlled.
So it's like a high knee march with a little extra oomph from the isotone.
Exactly. Are you ready for another one?
Hit me with it.
Okay, this one's called heel to toe walk with isotone. It's all about walking in a straight line, placing your heel directly in front of your toes with each step while squeezing the isotone. This one helps with balance coordination and making your gait smoother.
So it's targeting those precise movements that can be tricky with Parkinson's.
Exactly. We're breaking down those complex movements into smaller, more manageable exercises, and then using the isotone to gradually make them more challenging.
It's fascinating how interconnected all these different aspects of movement are, from balance to strength to gait.
Absolutely. You're right. It's all connected. And that's what's so great about this plan. It doesn't just address isolated issues. It takes a holistic approach, working on multiple things at once.
So what's next on our deep dive into this plan? What other types of exercises are there?
All right, so the next category we're going to look at is flexibility and tremor control.
This is a big one for people with Parkinson's rigidity, and tremors can be really challenging.
You're absolutely right. So these exercises are designed to address those specific symptoms, and we can use the isotone to make them even more effective.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about some of these exercises.
One of the best ones for flexibility is the seated forward stretch with isotone.
Okay, how does that work?
You sit comfortably on a chair holding the isotone at knee level, and as you bend forward to stretch your back and legs, you gently squeeze the isotone. That gentle pressure, along with the stretch, helps to loosen up those muscles and improve your range of motion.
Sounds like a nice, gentle way to combat that stiffness.
It is. And then for tremor control, we have wrist rotations with isotone. You hold the isotone lightly in both hands at chest height, and while gently squeezing, you rotate your wrists in small circles, alternating directions with each set.
It seems like those small, controlled movements with the added resistance could really help manage those tremors.
They can. It's all about retraining those muscles and getting better control over those involuntary movements.
So we've covered flexibility and tremor control. What's the last category of exercises in this plan?
Last but not least, we have rapid movement training.
Ooh, this sounds intense. What's that all about?
This is where we really challenge your reaction time agility and your ability to adjust to sudden changes in position, all of which are super important for maintaining independence and preventing falls.
Especially for folks with Parkinson's.
Exactly. So let's dive into some of these rapid movement exercises.
Okay, let's hear it.
One of the first ones you'll encounter is rapid weight shifts with isotone.
Okay.
Hold the isotone at chest level and quickly shift your weight to one foot while squeezing the device, then immediately back to center and shift to the other foot, all while keeping your balance.
Sounds like a real test of reflexes.
It is. And then we have isotone jump and squeeze.
Jump and squeeze. Now that sounds challenging.
It does require a bit more coordination, but remember you can modify it to your own abilities. So maybe a small controlled hop instead of a full jump when you're starting out.
Right. Safety first, always.
Exactly. So for this one, you hold the isotone in front of you. Do a small jump land with your feet a bit apart, and as you land, you squeeze the isotone. Then jump back to your starting position and repeat.
Okay, I can see how that would help with agility.
It does. And then we have quick arm swings with isotone.
Okay, what's that one like?
Imagine this. You're holding the isotone horizontally, and you're moving your arms in a sweeping motion from left to right while squeezing. Then reverse the motion. It's like a dynamic stretch with added resistance.
I like that. Sounds like a good way to loosen up.
It is. We've also got step and twist with isotone.
Okay, tell me more.
So you step forward with one foot while twisting your torso to the opposite side and squeezing the isotone, then quickly back to the starting position and repeat on the other side.
So you're working on multiple movements at once.
Exactly. And last but not least, we have a rapid isotone punches.
Punches?
Okay.
That sounds interesting.
For this one, you hold the isotone in front of you. and rapidly push it forward like you're punching, then bring it back to your chest. You can mix it up by punching straight forward upwards diagonally.
Wow, this whole plan sounds like a really dynamic and comprehensive approach to exercise for people with Parkinson's.
It is. But before we get too excited about all these exercises, we need to talk about something really important.
And that is safety.
You're absolutely right. Safety should always be the top priority.
Absolutely. Especially when we're working with people who might have balance issues, reduced mobility, or other movement challenges.
So what are some of the risks we need to be aware of when it comes to exercise in Parkinson's?
Okay, let's talk about that. And it's really important to emphasize that this information is not meant to scare anyone. It's about giving you the knowledge to stay safe and have open communication with your healthcare team.
I agree. Knowledge is power. And understanding the potential risks can help us make good decisions. Exactly. So one of the most common risks, and this applies to anyone starting a new workout routine, is overexertion. It's easy to get carried away and push too hard, but that can lead to muscle strains, joint pain, even exhaustion.
So it's all about listening to your body and not pushing past your limits.
Exactly. Another big concern, especially for people with Parkinson's, is falls. Balance issues are a hallmark of this condition, and some exercises, particularly those involving rapid movements or balance challenges, can increase the risk.
That's definitely something to be mindful of. So what are some ways to reduce that risk?
Well, this program really stresses the importance of having support nearby, like a sturdy chair or a wall, especially when you're doing exercises that challenge your balance. It also recommends starting slow and gradually increasing the difficulty as you get stronger and more confident.
So it's all about creating a safe and supportive environment.
Precisely. It's also crucial to work with your doctor and physical therapist. To learn the proper techniques for each exercise, they can help you adjust the program to your needs and abilities.
That personalized guidance can make all the difference. So what other risks should we be thinking about?
Another one is cardiovascular stress. And this is especially important for people with any kind of pre-existing heart conditions.
So it's crucial to check with your doctor before starting this program to make sure it's safe for your heart.
Absolutely. Even if you don't have a heart condition, it's a good idea to keep an eye on your heart rate and exertion levels. If you're feeling your heart racing or any chest discomfort, stop immediately and talk to your doctor.
Safety first, always. What about joint or muscle pain? That's something a lot of people experience, especially as we get older.
You're right. Even without Parkinson's, people can have joint or muscle pain, especially if they have things like arthritis. The key is to pay attention to any discomfort and modify or avoid exercises that trigger pain. Again, working with a physical therapist can be really helpful in adapting the program to your specific needs.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And finally, let's touch on dizziness and vertigo. These can be particularly tough for people with Parkinson's because they can make balance issues worse and increase the risk of falls.
So how does this exercise plan address those concerns?
Well, it specifically advises avoiding exercises that involve rapid head or body movements, since those can trigger dizziness or vertigo. It also emphasizes staying hydrated and taking breaks when you need them to prevent fatigue, which can contribute to those feelings.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of potential risks. Now let's shift gears and talk about how to stay safe and have a good experience with this plan. What are some of the key takeaways from the prevent harm section?
That section really highlights the importance of being proactive about safety. It's about educating yourself, working closely with your healthcare team, and making informed decisions that prioritize your well-being.
I love that. It's about taking ownership of your health and working in partnership with your care team to create a plan that's both safe and effective.
Exactly. And I want to reemphasize that this information is not meant to be alarmist. Exercise can be incredibly beneficial for people with Parkinson's, but it's essential to approach it with caution and a commitment to safety.
It's all about finding that balance between challenging yourself and staying safe.
Exactly.
And I think we've done a good job of laying that groundwork today. We've covered the basics of Parkinson's, how the isotone works, and explored a whole bunch of exercises that target those unique challenges.
It's been a great discussion so far.
Absolutely. And we've emphasized the importance of safety and personalized care, which is crucial.
Couldn't agree more.
And we're back, folks, still diving deep into this isotone exercise plan for Parkinson's disease. Before the break, we were talking about the importance of safety and working with your healthcare team.
Making sure everything's tailored to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious to learn more about how these exercises actually work, like on a deeper level.
You mean like the science behind it?
Yeah, we touched on the neurological impact, but I'd love to hear more about that.
Sure. So you see, Parkinson's mainly affects a part of the brain called the substantia nigra.
The substantia nigra.
Yeah, it's responsible for producing dopamine.
Ah, dopamine. The brain chemical that's all about smooth movement.
Exactly. And when dopamine production gets messed up, it throws the whole movement system out of whack.
So that's where the exercises come in.
Right. Research suggests that exercise can actually stimulate dopamine production.
So you're actually working on your brain chemistry while you're working out.
And it promotes neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. Now, there's a word I haven't heard in a while. Remind me what that is again.
Neuroplasticity is basically the brain's ability to rewire itself, form new connections, strengthen existing ones. It's like the brain's way of adapting and finding workarounds for any damage or dysfunction.
So it's like physical therapy for the brain.
That's a great way to put it. These exercises are challenging the brain to find new ways to communicate with the muscles, improving coordination, balance, and motor control.
So it's like you're teaching the brain to bypass those roadblocks that Parkinson's has set up.
Exactly. And the isotone adds another dimension to this whole rewiring process.
How so?
The resistance it provides makes the brain work harder, engages more muscle fibers, strengthens those connections even more.
So it's like taking that brain workout to the next level.
Precisely. And that's what makes this approach so promising. It's not just managing symptoms. It's about actively engaging the brain in healing and adaptation.
That's incredible. It gives people a sense of control over their condition.
Absolutely. It's about reclaiming that sense of agency, feeling empowered to take charge of your health.
Exactly. So let's get back to the exercises. We talked about some for flexibility and tremor control before the break, like seated forward stretch and wrist rotations.
Right. All with the isotone, of course.
Of course. Are there any other exercises in that category that we haven't covered yet?
Yeah, there are a couple more. We have shoulder rolls with isotone.
Okay, tell me about that one.
It's great for loosening up the shoulder joints. You hold the isotone in each hand, arms by your sides, and slowly roll your shoulders forward and then backward, keeping a gentle squeeze on the isotone the whole time.
Sounds simple enough, but effective.
It is. It helps release tension in the shoulders and upper back.
And that can really help with posture, right?
Definitely. People with Parkinson's often develop a hunched posture because of muscle rigidity. So this exercise can help counteract that.
What else do we have?
Another good one for tremor control is finger extensions with isotone.
Finger extensions.
Yeah.
Okay, how does that work?
You hold the isotone in your hand and slowly extend each finger one at a time while maintaining a light squeeze on the device, then slowly lower each finger back down.
Sounds like that would help with dexterity and fine motor control, which can be tough with tremors.
Exactly. It's about retraining those muscles and improving control over those small movements.
It's like mindfulness for your hands.
It is. Being present and focused during the exercises can make them more effective.
So shall we move on to the last category we talked about before the break? Rapid movement training.
Let's do it. That one seems to have caught your attention.
It did. It sounds like a really dynamic way to challenge the body.
It is. It's all about improving agility reaction time and the ability to adjust to sudden changes in position, which are all essential for preventing falls, especially for folks with Parkinson's.
Absolutely. So we talked about rapid weight shifts and isotone jump and squeeze.
Yeah.
What other exercises are in this category?
We have side steps with isotone.
Side steps.
Okay, what's that one like? You hold the isotone at chest level and take quick steps sideways, alternating between right and left, keeping a steady squeeze on the isotone the whole time.
Sounds like a good workout for the legs and core.
It is. It also challenges your balance and coordination.
What else?
Then we have isotone toe taps.
Toe taps, what are those like?
Stand with your feet slightly apart, holding the isotone in front of you. Then quickly tap your toes on the ground, alternating between right and left, while keeping a rhythmic squeeze on the isotone.
I can see how that would improve foot speed and coordination.
It does. We also have figure 8 walks with isotone.
Figure 8 walks. Now that sounds interesting.
For this one, you walk in a figure 8 pattern while holding the isotone and maintaining a steady squeeze. It's a great way to challenge your balance and coordination because you're constantly adjusting your direction and speed.
So it's like multitasking for your body.
Exactly. This plan really incorporates a wide range of exercises to challenge you in different ways, from strength and flexibility to balance coordination and overall movement control.
And the isotone adds that extra level of resistance to make everything more effective.
Absolutely.
This has been a really insightful deep dive. We've covered so much today.
It has been a pleasure sharing this information with you.
And I think one of the most important takeaways is that exercise can be a powerful tool for people with Parkinson's.
Couldn't agree more.
But it's crucial to approach it safely. And with guidance from your healthcare team.
Exactly. Start slowly, work closely with your doctor and physical therapist, and always prioritize safety above all else.
As we wrap up our deep dive into this isotone exercise plan for Parkinson's, one thing that keeps coming back to me is this idea of empowerment.
I can see why. It's all about giving folks with Parkinson's the tools they need to actively manage their condition.
Yeah, it's not just about accepting limitations, but about pushing back and regaining that sense of control.
Absolutely. Parkinson's can make you feel like you're losing control over your body and your life. But this plan kind of flips the script. It says, hey, you're not powerless. You can fight back. You can adapt. You can get better.
And that message, I bet, is incredibly powerful for people facing those challenges.
It is. It's about taking ownership of your health and well-being.
Exactly. Even when you're dealing with a tough diagnosis.
And the isotone, in a way, becomes a symbol of that empowerment.
How so?
It's a tool that puts the power back in your hands, literally. It lets you challenge yourself, push your limits safely, and see real progress.
It's like having a personal trainer and a cheerleader, all in one little device.
I love that. And it's not just about the physical benefits either.
Right. We've talked about how these exercises can improve strength, balance, coordination, flexibility. But there's a whole mental and emotional side to it, too.
Absolutely. Exercise in general has a huge impact on mood. It can reduce stress and anxiety, boost cognitive function, improve memory focus, mental clarity.
Feels like a brain booster.
Exactly. But when you add in targeted movements specifically designed for the challenges of Parkinson's, I think the potential for positive change is even greater.
Because you're addressing those specific needs.
Exactly. These exercises can help build confidence, restore a sense of agency, and create a more positive outlook on life.
It's not just about training your body, it's about training your mind and spirit as well.
Well said. And when you combine those physical, mental, and emotional benefits, it can truly be transformative.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground today.
It really has. We've talked about the science behind Parkinson's, explored a whole range of exercises, and emphasized the importance of safety and personalized care.
And that's key, working with your healthcare team to create a plan that's right for you.
Exactly.
So to our listeners, if you're interested in learning more about this isotone exercise plan, I encourage you to reach out to your doctor or physical therapist.
They can guide you and make sure you're exercising safely.
Absolutely. That's the most important thing. And until next time, keep diving deep, keep learning, and keep moving towards a life filled with purpose, possibility, and joy.